Like and subscribe to Pulse Fundamentals for more content like this. Sources linked below. Welcome to your Faroese News Report. Just a quick note, the Pulse Fundamentals channel is actually on holiday for weeks 29 and 30. But we wanted to bring you this concise, factual overview of recent headlines from the Faroe Islands anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Our goal today is simply to present the news information. We're pulling directly from the sources you provided.
Exactly. No extra perspective, no speculation from us. We're really just focusing on the facts here.
Getting you the core information nice and clear.
Right. So where should we start?
Let's begin with the economy, specifically the banking sector. We've got an assessment from Landsbanken, that's the Faroes National Bank.
Okay, what did they find?
Well, they reported that banks saw an improved financial situation for their business customers. This was back in Q2 2025.
Ah, improvement. And why was that?
It seems it was largely attributed to those recent interest rate reductions.
Okay, that makes sense. And is that trend set to continue?
They think so, yes. Banks are anticipating further improvement in Q3 for the same reason.
Right. Interesting, though, with all the, global uncertainty, the U.S. situation.
Yeah, they did mention that. But the banks reported it hasn't really significantly impacted Faroese business customers. Not yet, anyway.
Huh. Okay, but what about demand for loans? Did the lower rates boost that?
Actually, no. Despite the rate reductions, demand for financing from existing business customers, it's slightly decreased in Q2.
Decreased? That's a bit counterintuitive, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And banks don't expect that demand to change much in Q3 either.
Okay, so moving from assessments to hard numbers, business loans and debt.
Right. Looking at May 2025 data, annual loan growth to businesses was 2.6%. That's calculated as the 3-month average.
Okay, 2.6 overall. Any difference between private and public?
Yes, a slight one. Growth for private companies was a bit higher, 2.7%, and for public companies, it was 1.4%.
Got it. And the total debt figure, how much are we talking about?
Total business debt in Faroese financial institutions. It nearly hit 7 billion DKK in May.
7 billion Danish kroner. Wow. And that's mostly private companies, I assume?
That's right. Private companies owed about 6.3 billion DKK of that. Public companies owed around 650 million DKK.
Okay. And where's this money going? Which sectors?
The bulk of it, nearly 4.3 billion DKK, went into the service industry.
Right.
Loans to resource industries were about 1.4 billion. And production industries, around 1.3 billion DKK. That was in May.
Okay. Is all the financing domestic?
Not entirely. It's worth noting, Faroese businesses also got nearly 4.5 billion DKK in financing from banks in Iceland, Sweden, and Norway. That figure is from the end of 2024.
Ah, so external financing, too. Any particular area for
Yeah, shipbuilding was mentioned specifically. That drew notable financing from those Nordic banks.
Okay, interesting. Let's maybe zoom in on some specific companies now. Farcod.
Yes, Farcod. That's the group behind vessels like Enneberg, Amethyst, Havberg, and Emerald. They reported a profit of 26.3 million DKK after tax last year.
Okay, 26.3 million. How does that compare to the year before?
It's up quite a bit. It was 15.8 million DKK in 2023.
So a good jump in net profit. What about gross profit?
Oh, that's a different picture. Gross profit was actually down. It came in at 72.7 million DKK last year, compared to 108.2 million in 2023.
Down significantly then. So how did the final profit improve so much?
The key factor was financial income. It surged to 72.4 million DKK last year, which is, well, a massive jump from only 81,000 DKK the previous year.
Wow, okay, so financial items made the difference. What's the operational outlook?
Management sounds cautiously optimistic. They mentioned the company can now fish its entire bottom fish quota, the one from Russia and Norwegian waters.
Right.
Which apparently improves their operational possibilities quite a bit.
And shrimp prices.
They said shrimp prices haven't been satisfactory, but they expect them to rise. And overall, they anticipate fishing will improve, leading to more profitable operations.
Okay. And their overall financial position?
Balanced at 730 million DKK at year-end. Equity stood at 326 million DKK. Got it. And the director is Morten H. Johannesson.
Correct.
Okay, moving from fishing to construction, Norðsetur.
Yes, Norðsetur in Volvik. They specialize in custom-built houses. They had a strong year. Gross profit nearly doubled, reaching 11.6 million DKK last year.
Doubled, okay. And net profit?
Net profit after tax was 3.7 million DKK.
How does that compare to previous years?
It's a significant turnaround. It was roughly zero profit in 2023, and they actually had a loss of about 1 million DKK back in 2022.
So quite a recovery. What's the company's background?
It's described as one of the oldest companies of its kind, managed conservatively, seems to have a really strong financial position, over 32 million DKK total.
Go.
That includes over 27 million DKK in equity and nearly 19 million DKK in available cash.
Very solid footing then. And Helge Olsen is still the director.
Yes, he remains the director.
Okay. Now, let's shift gears a bit to broader economic commentary. There were some observations about Europe's standing. That's right. Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Chase, made some pretty stark comments in Dublin. He basically said Europe has lost significant economic strength.
How so? What was his reasoning?
He pointed out that Europe's GDP has fallen quite dramatically compared to the U.S., from about 90% of U.S. GDP maybe 10, 15 years ago, down to just 65% today.
65%. Wow.
Yeah, his quote was direct. "This is not good. You are losing."
Strong words. Did he elaborate on why?
He indicated European companies just aren't keeping pace with U.S. companies, not in growth, innovation, or reaching international markets.
And he wasn't alone in that sentiment, was he?
No, definitely not. Mario Draghi, the former EU central bank governor, echoed similar concerns. Draghi warned that European competitiveness is being sort of stifled by bureaucracy and cumbersome systems.
Okay, bureaucracy. Anything else?
He also mentioned pressure from Chinese competitors and difficulties accessing advanced tech sectors.
Right. And this connects back to the Faroes, how...
Well, the Eysturoy Business Association weighed in on this. They stated pretty clearly that European competitiveness directly impacts Faroes' export opportunities.
Makes sense. Exports. What else?
Also the ability to attract investment and, importantly, the capacity to develop new industries, in tech and sustainable sectors.
And do they see similar issues within the Faroes?
They do. They noted similarities like cumbersome pressure, slow progress in public systems, and the risk of slow entrepreneurial development.
So they're drawing parallels. Did they pose any questions to local leaders?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They basically asked Faroese authorities how they plan to make it easier to start and run businesses here.
Okay.
And how to improve access to international capital and innovative collaborations, essentially ensuring the Faroes don't fall behind globally.
Right. Did Dimon mention any specific risks?
He did comment on potential Trump policies. He said markets might be underestimating the threat of high tariffs, possibly up to 200% on certain goods, which could severely affect European exporters.
And therefore Faroes suppliers too, potentially.
Exactly, the knock-on effect.
So what was the final message from the business association?
They argued Faroese society must address these rigid systems. Their point was, if Europe loses, small nations like the Faroes will be among the losers too, unless they act quickly and boldly.
A call to action, then.
Very much so. A call for a collective goal to make the Faroes a place where freedom, speed, and innovation are really central to business life.
Okay, a lot to think about on the economic front. Let's move to political and societal developments, a new ombudsman position.
Yes, this is quite significant. The first ever disability ombudsman position for the Faroe Islands is now open for applications.
First ever. That sounds historical.
It is. It's a new arrangement approved by the Lightning, the Faroese Parliament. The aim is to strengthen the rights and living conditions for people with disability.
Who commented on this?
Arakuri Shakopstovu, the Minister of Social and Cultural Affairs. He called it a significant step and noted it's something that MEG, that's the Faroes Disability Organization, and international bodies have wanted for a long time.
Right. So what will the ombudsman actually do?
Their tasks include monitoring if Faroes laws, services, and offers comply with the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities.
Okay, monitoring compliance.
Yes, and providing advice and guidance, conducting investigations, writing reports, and generally fostering debate on disability issues.
Can they rule on individual cases, like make decisions?
No, the description says they cannot make decisions in individual cases, but they can publicly express opinions on relevant matters.
Okay, a public voice and monitoring role. How long is the appointment?
It's a fixed term, 5 years initially, with a possibility of extension.
And the deadline to apply?
It's Wednesday, August 20th, 2025 at noon.
Okay, a landmark position there. Another political item. The Prime Minister on TikTok.
Yes, Axel V. Johannesson, the Prime Minister, now has a TikTok profile.
But wasn't there some guidance about TikTok on work devices from Gjaldstoven?
There was. Gjaldstoven, the payment agency, previously advised against installing TikTok on smartphones or tablets if they also have work-related apps. specifically apps from Landsnet, the National Digital Infrastructure, or the institution itself.
Right. I remember KVF reporting on that back in March 2023. Staff were told to delete the app.
Correct, for security reasons. However, the Prime Minister's party, Flokkurin, the Social Democrats, they've clarified things.
Okay, what's their explanation?
They stated there's no ban on private individuals having TikTok. That's the first point. And they say this profile belongs to Axel V. Johannesson as a private person and as leader of the party, not as prime minister in his official capacity.
Okay. So who manages it? And which phone is it on?
It's managed by the party's office. And crucially, the app is installed on a party phone, not the phone he uses for his official duties as prime minister.
And that party phone doesn't have work apps.
Exactly. The party clarified the phone with TikTok does not have work-related apps from Landsnet.
Okay, so they're making a clear distinction between his private party role and his official government role.
That seems to be the message, yes.
All right, let's move to a few other news items. Electric cars and road barriers.
Yeah, this is an interesting, maybe slightly concerning point being raised globally. Are road barriers actually designed for these much heavier electric cars?
What prompted this question?
There was a specific traffic accident mentioned. On a motorway in Los Baños, California, a Tesla Model Y hit a road barrier, and apparently the barrier failed.
Failed how?
The report said the barrier went through the car. There was an image referenced in the source.
Oof. Yeah, that definitely raises questions about infrastructure keeping up with vehicle changes.
It does. Now, shifting topics again. Merman Seafood and espionage claims.
Ah, yes. What's the latest there?
Sergei Kabanov, who's the communications director for Merman Seafood, spoke to KVF. He stated very clearly that all the stories alleging their vessels are involved in espionage, or that the company has indirect ties to Vladimir Putin, are fabricated, made up.
Okay, a strong denial.
Very strong. He said the ships pose no danger to Norway or anyone else, never been involved in espionage. He insisted they are solely engaged in fishing.
Did he address the claims about damaging infrastructure, cables, pipelines?
Yes. He specifically said they have never damaged any cables or oil or gas pipelines. He dismissed all the accusations as, quote, pure nonsense.
All right. Okay. So that's their official stance. Let's lighten the mood a bit. Weather. How was it on July 12th?
Much better. The weekend forecast had predicted good conditions. And as of Saturday morning, July 12th, the weather was good across most of the country.
Any specific temperatures?
Yeah, Landsverk's measurements show the warmest spots were Viareidi up north at 19 degrees Celsius, and Krambatagi and Faroe down south hitting 18 degrees Celsius.
Nice. Any fog?
Faroe Islands Slive did report fog in some areas, yeah.
And the outlook?
Sunday, and maybe Monday too, were expected to be the best days. Temperatures possibly reaching 20 degrees Celsius or even more where the east wind was favorable. That's according to VP.fo Faroe.
Okay, sounds lovely. Was there an update later on Saturday? Did it get warmer?
Yes, an evening update for July 12th confirmed it was a warm day. The highest temperature Landsverk recorded was actually around 22 degrees Celsius.
Oh, even warmer. Where was that?
On Tjørnevikarvegguren, it reached 21.9 degrees Celsius around 5:3 p.m. And on Dalvegger in Viareidi, it hit 22.9 Celsius just before that at 5:03 p.m.
Wow, 22.2.
Yeah, and even in Van Soyeraard, it got up to 20.9 Celsius around 5:35 p.m.
So a genuinely warm summer day for the Faroes.
Absolutely. And Faroe Faroe predicted good weather again for Sunday and Monday. Temperatures up to about 21 degrees, but still cooler if you were in a foggy patch.
Right, fog can make a big difference there. Anything else making news? Tourism.
Yes, KVF reported on a new trend, apparently. Cold tourism.
Cold tourism? What's that?
It seems it's this phenomenon of visitors being attracted to the Faroe Islands, partly because of the cooler climate and unique landscape, so people actively seeking out cooler destinations rather than, the typical sun holiday.
Interesting. So the Faroes weather is actually becoming a draw in itself for some tourists.
Seems that way, yeah.
Okay, and finally, just some general info about a website, VP.fo.
Right, just a quick rundown of what's on their site. They have sections like news, culture, politics, sports, reader submissions, stuff about municipalities, also text descriptions, my keyboard, devotions, about VP, ads, pretty standard stuff.
Videos, podcasts?
Yep, video clips, a blog, photo gallery, and they list various podcasts too. Names like Dr. Sophus, Folkepoderen, Ríkisráðið, Amateuroyer, and even some podcasts by teaching students.
Okay, anything else?
The site also features recipes and travel destinations, mentions of Ibiza, West Zealand, places in Thailand, Portugal, Kind of a mix.
Got it. So a broad range of content there.
Seems so. And, well, that seems to cover the main headlines we had sources for.
Okay.
That concludes your Faroese news report.
Like and subscribe to Paul's Fundamentals for more content like this. Sources linked below. And just one final reminder that the Paul's Fundamentals channel is on holiday for weeks 29 and 30.